I felt his presence. And then there was even more love given to me. It was, my name is Jason Janis. On April 2nd of 2020, I hit a major speed bump where I died. And I woke up to like a myriad of doctors in my face. I turned my head to the left because up in the left hand corner where the TV was, someone was standing there. Right there is, so I'm looking at the TV and I'm feeling this presence. And the best I could is I got up on my elbows and I was shaking uncontrollably. And I began to sob and I cried out to God for the first time in probably 42 years. I said, please. Now, mind you, when I'm talking, I was sobbing uncontrollably. I said, God, please don't let me die. Please. I said, I know I abandoned you and Jesus. And I said, I'm truly sorry. I said, I love you with all my heart and all that I am. And, I said, I love Jesus. And I said, please forgive me for abandoning you. I was engulfed in this. It was like somebody turned on the spotlight, boom. So I was inundated with this light and this unconditional love. It was as warm as the sun. I was out of my body. I saw everything around me, everything in the ICU room, all the rooms, everybody in the rooms. I could see the grasses soul. I could see the trees soul. I could see every blade of grass and the veins in them moving independently. The grass was giving me love. The trees were giving me love. Um, and I was just engulfed in this love. Now, there are no words on this in our English language or any language to describe that love. We can say it's unconditional, it was this, it was that. It was all encompassing. It it flowed through me like a river, like I was placed in 10 feet in a river. Instead of the river moving around you, this love flowed through me. And it never stopped, never faltered, it never wavered. And as I was there above, the thought came into my head, but and before it was even really a fully formed thought, it was spoken. I said, I'm home. But when I said I'm home, I was shocked because I knew I shouldn't have been there, and I was shocked. I was like, I'm home. And nothing was ever spoken to me. It was all love. It was just love. And I knew that presence was God, was Father. And I was extremely ashamed. I shouldn't have been there. I wasn't you're like I am now, this fine, outstanding young man or boy. And through my life, I wasn't a nice person. And I knew I shouldn't have been there. And the guilt was eating me alive. I was ashamed. And the guiltier I felt and the more ashamed I felt, the more I was loved. And the more I was loved, and it was so much love. And now, in that transition from the physical into being home, I was young again, and I was all pain stopped instantaneously. It was gone. There was no pain and no sense of time. That could have lasted 5 seconds. It could have lasted 5 hours. I have no idea. But I'm just engulfed in this love and this warmth, and it was so warm and so loving. And Jesus showed up. So when he was there in front of me, Father was off to the left, so it was like 11 and 2 on the clock. And when I looked at Jesus, I felt his presence. And then there was even more love given to me. It was in human form. The only way to express it is it was stifling, like somebody covered up your mouth and your nose at the same time and you couldn't breathe. I could breathe, I could feel it. It was just so intense and so much was given to me. And in that same time, Father healed me. He healed the tumors. Um, I still had to go have them cut out, but stop the bleeding. Um, And from what I found out is that when he fixed me, and I didn't know this until a few months after the NDE, is like he took away my hate, my anger. He filled me with a love for everyone and everything, including the grass that doesn't exist here on earth. And he humbled me, and he stripped me of my pride. He stripped me of anger. And I'm like, that's when I knew that religion to God and religion to Jesus means nothing. God does not care about your religion, does not care in the least. And when I mean the least, it's not even a thought. Religion to God and to Jesus mean nothing. It's meaningless. What matters to Father, what matters to Jesus is how much love do we have for not only your family and friends, but for others, your neighbors, those who live around the world. You know, instead of walking over that person that tripped and fell, hey, are you okay? That little amount of empathy and caring that you showed for that person is why we were created. We're all gods. Every single one of us are gods. We are God. God made us. You know, I had met a group of people, psychics and mediums and stuff, and they put two and two together for me. And we, before when we come here, we plan our lives. We plan everything. We choose our parents. We plan our lives, all the things that we want to accomplish in this life, and we choose our death. And then when it's time, we come here. So what I found out is that those of us who are here right now on this earth, mostly the older ones, like those in the, I'd say the older, probably down into the 20s, maybe some teens. Like I said, we are all gods, right? So imagine this. I don't know how old you are, but when I was born in 1970, there are umpteen trillions and trillions and trillions of souls that want to come to the earth right now. They are not allowed to. They are not allowed to because those of us that are here were handpicked in essence by God. Three of us were brought kind of like finalists, okay? And out of the three, as we stand before Father, He will choose one to come. And it's not because they're unworthy, it's because the person He chooses has the most experience that can help the earth and you and others transition into 5D. So those of us that are here right now, including you, were chosen by God out of those three. So you were standing with two others, and He said, you. That is why you're here. That blew my mind. I was like, He says, so all of you here right now are truly meant to be here, and you have a significant purpose in this world. And I wasn't ready to hear that. I knew it already, but I guess to have the validation of it, I was just in awe. I was like, wow, out of the three, I'm here. Wow. That's, do you know how huge that is? That means that you were chosen by Father out of the three to come here because you had the greatest chance and with knowledge to get your job done and to help the earth and others. And I was just, I'm, I'm still just in awe of that. It's just one of the single-handedly most beautiful things I've heard. I mean, it's beautiful, truly beautiful. We come from a place of love. All we know is love. It's unconditional. It never goes. It's what we are. We are love, we are light, and we are energy. We are a powerful, powerful energy. We are simply interdimensional beings here in a physical world to experience. life, physical life. So, and in that, we choose what we would call suffering, pain, getting punched, getting hit, kicked, being told bad names, being molested, getting in a car crash, losing an arm. We don't know what these things are. So we come down here to experience these things. But prior to us coming here, we also choose to forget who we are. So we can come down here and play the game because that's all this is. This isn't real. You do know that, right? That none of this is real. This is the matrix. We've come into a simulation, and prior to coming in here, we, on our way here, whoop, we forget, and away we go, you know. And when that truth was given to me back home, I realized I did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. There was no judgment against me. There was nothing but love. And I should not have been in that place. I shouldn't have been. But when I asked God here, when I was struggling so hard, and I was pacing back and forth the house, and I ended up in my bedroom, and I said, "You chose the wrong person for this. I don't deserve this. Should have picked the Pope. You should have picked somebody else." And I said, "I am unworthy." And a very clear voice in my head, and it was as clear as me speaking when I was in my NDE. He said, "You are worthy. You are my son." And that's the moment I collapsed on my knees and I gave myself to him. I said, "Father, for all that I am you. I am yours." And from that moment on, everything just took off. It was me really finally surrendering my last ounce of will to God, and I want everybody to know that you're not alone ever, whether you're home alone, whether you're at work, laying in bed, you're never alone. God hears you, God sees you, and he feels you. He's going through every emotion, every ounce of pain and happiness that you are. You are never alone. Your guides are with you, your archangel is with you always. They are never away from your side ever. So we are incredibly powerful. Okay, incredibly powerful. And Jesus knew this when he was here. He had, like, I had an NDE, and I became one with everything. I achieved what they call Christ consciousness or oneness. I merged with my true self. Jesus, the reason Jesus was here is because he was further along than anybody else at the time. And he chose Jesus. Jesus incarnated here, and somewhere in his, by 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, he achieved oneness. He became literally a walking God. We're all walking gods, but he achieved oneness, which means he could perform all the miracles that he did. We are capable of that too. We just haven't reached that level yet. He became, an ascended master. He could do those things. He, when he was crucified, he went home, came back to the disciples. We all have that within us. We haven't reached that point yet. So when I say, when he would manifest healing, he would say, he manifest it and they would be healed. We have that power because he did it while he was here. And if you, I think it's 82nd Psalm, when they were going to stone him for blasphemy. And they said, "Why are you going to stone me?" He said, "For blasphemy, to say that you are the Son of God." We're all gods. So when you manifest that, even though we haven't reached the level that Jesus did, we can still make it happen. Meaning it's not going to happen right here, but right now, but you're going to manifest it and it's going to come true at some point, but you have to believe. It can't be wishy-washy or, like I know my life is changing soon. I know I'm moving to California. I know that the money is coming. I know that, I'm going to end up with a house. I know it's all coming. I can feel it, so I know it's coming. And I've been manifesting and I'm like, Father, no more. I want more. No more of this. It's unacceptable. Okay. And this is the way I'm going. And I'm telling him what's going to happen. And it will happen. And that's when I mean that, I don't care if you meditate or you're, alone, but when I have most of my conversations that I really need to to talk, I mean, I'm alone. It's quiet and I gather my thoughts and then, I have this conversation and I tell them I do not accept this. I am changing my contract in a way, because we're going to do this now, you know. So that's what I mean by that. So it's just you got to hunker down. You just got to, feel your soul in a way and, get to a level of a zen. You're just a zen and then just you put those thoughts out there and you manifest them, you make them happen, and they will happen. Okay. Energy never dies, it just moves on, it transfers. So when you bring your vibration up, not only do you ascend higher, when you transition home, but you also attract that other higher energy, that higher positivity. And again, make it happen. Like this last job, I manifested, I want this kind of this, I want this, and I want that kind of it was there. So yeah, it will happen, And I love talking about this experience. I want people to feel it like you. Want them to know, everybody who watches the video, that they're loved by me, by Father, and that, when this timeline is over, you're gonna go home. Okay, bye.